Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at Lagavulin 37, vintage 1976. Diageo Special Release 2013. This is a whiskey review I have looked forward to doing for quite some time. Lagavulin's my favorite distillery, and this is the oldest Lagavulin really they've done an official bottling of. Aside from that is my birth year of 1976, comes in at 51% ABV, cask strength. 1,868 bottles were produced, and this is a sample from bottle 1051. I'll put a picture of it on the thumbnail right here for you guys so you can take a look at the bottle. One of my good friends had this bottle for a long time. I thought about buying it off him and went back and forth with it. He actually helped me source a few of my other really nice Lagavulin 21s from the 2012, and a couple of and these two right here, two of my favorite ones, the 2015 facial, the 24-year-old. But eventually he decided to open up this bottle, and he sent me a sample of it, and I've had it again for about 2 years now, waiting a long time to bring it to you guys since the bottle was freshly cracked. I've had it sitting open here for about an hour now, just kind of aerating. Hopefully we can get the best of it. This will be the last review of like the Lagavulins that I really wanted to do when I set out to do this whiskey review channel. Wanted to do the first two 21s. Turns out I've done all three 21s, as well as like the 2013 Jazz, this 2015 Facial, a bunch of other good Lagavulins. But this kind of rounds out the ones that the top five that were on my list, and I'm excited to bring it here for you guys to check out. It's really nice, dark color. It's aged in both ex-American oak and ex-European oak. So we got sherry and probably ex-bourbon in here as well. Although Lagavulin does do American oak that is ex-sherry as well. So it doesn't say the distinction, but I know now, at least with the distiller's edition, it will say, distilled in PX casks that are American oak seasoned. So maybe a little bit, maybe some of the sherry is also American. All right, on this beautiful, well-sherried, well-integrated with great smoke and tobacco. I tell you what, I have looked at this bottle so many times and people's reviews of it, but I have really tried to purge all that information over the last couple of years before I brought this review to you guys. Man, I had a nice little 26-year-old Ardbeg cask strength to kind of level set this with one other whiskey. And I tell you what, there is like a nice vanilla cream coming up here that I kind of noticed earlier when I was nosing this. Vanilla cream, beautiful sherry, really nice leather tobacco. Leather and tobacco. Leather like tobacco in a leather pouch. Here comes back, just a little bit of honey and vanilla. Sweet honey. Almost like an old honey. I wasn't really expecting that out of this one. I wasn't getting that at first at all. But again, that's the beauty of letting something sit for a long time. An hour before you even start like getting into the review or setting up the camera. It's probably been a good hour and 20 minutes at this point. There's a lovely old dark honey along with a bubblegum sherry. The honey note is almost Balvenie 1401 batch 8-esque, with just a beautiful backbone of smoke that just has like a tobacco driven smoke. Oh man, it's so nice. Got a healthy little sample, so we're going to take our time here, play with this a little bit. Hopefully I adjusted the camera better this time. I think I was tilting it wrong forever, but we'll get it fixed going forward, Dustin and I. Yeah, bubblegum sherry. A little bit of tar's coming in. But this ridge of vanilla is there the whole time. Again, the ridge of vanilla is something I really didn't expect. Kind of the vanilla, not quite as predominant as, say, like an Ardbeg 10, or maybe like the Ardbeg 19, the first one, about 4 or 5 years ago. Just the twinge, that little ridge of vanilla. If you're a Bob Ross fan, I always liken a ridge of vanilla like when he would do the caps of the mountains, the little shadows on the side. That's what I mean by ridge. Happy little trees. Okay, now just a twinge of mint coming up here. I tell you what, for 37 years, this smells lively. Dense Lagavulin. You can smell it's oily. Oily, dense. Beautiful. Beautiful vanilla cigar with its honey dipped on the end. It's a pretty good way to say it. All right, let's have a sip. Put some water on this thing. Lagavulin 37. Nice bottle. 2013 Diageo special release. I don't know what it was originally, but every time I passed on buying it, it was $1,000 the next time I considered it. Now it's just probably out of reach forever. Except for this moment we have together right here. Big sherry and tobacco right when you swallow. The mouthfeel is almost perfect. It isn't overly sherried, say like the 21-year-old, the 2012 bottling, which was the 1991 vintage. Isn't as woody or as just overly oaky as the 21. What was the 1980? I think it was the first 21. The 1985 vintage. That was oakier and woodier, a little thicker on the palate. This is very similar on the palate to say the 25 from 2016. A little thicker than this 2015 Diageo special release. This is a little more, you get a little more of the spirit, the cast do a slightly more subtle of a job. So it's a real interesting middle ground between, as far as viscosity. It isn't overly sherried again like the 1991 vintage 21-year-old, which again, I love all those things. I'm just trying to put it in its proper place. Almost perfect viscosity, beautiful, rich, smoky tobacco. Everything I love about the 21, the 1985 vintage, but just turn down the woodiness slightly. And I would say it's just slightly less dessert and slightly less sherry. The 25, just a twinge of just an older feel. Sometimes it's hard to really nail like the exact age on an old peated whiskey or any old whiskey for that matter. 25, 30, 35. It's there's some tells, but it tends to blur sometimes. This does come off older than all those other Lagavulins, but it's still incredibly rich with not being overly oaked and overly cask driven, although it's teetering heavy towards that side. The vanilla and the honey are such a nice complement to that tobacco and sherry. I mean, you know what? Now I've been remiss not to mention there's some nice spice here. Mineral spice, moss on stone sort of mineral spice. Some type of pepper, light pepper, white pepper, pepper on stone again. I love that moss on stone smell, especially with peated whiskeys. Just done so well. Just another whiskey be great with a cigar, and I'm not even a cigar guy. It gives you just the aromas of rich tobacco and deep leathers. Glad you guys are here to experience this with me. It's a shame we're not all having a drink of this right now. All right, I'm gonna have one more sip, then I'm gonna add a little bit of water, because you gotta add water. I wanted one more taste of it. Clean, neat, straight, as we call it in the States. I've often found in the United States, city after city, it's easier to say to somebody when you order a drink at the bar, just give it to me straight rather than give it to me neat. Although, most people know what neat is here. All right. Lagavulin made such great whiskeys. Haven't had a great Lagavulin in a long time. I keep buying them all. as you guys know. They've got some pretty good ones. The 20-year-old wasn't a bad release. The 21-year-old, the third version of it, the 2019 or something, I want to say, maybe it was 21. That was still, again, was a good whiskey. They're just not on par with the 85, 91, 21s, the 25 from 2016, this bad boy, and this 37. Those are truly special Lagavulins. And they're all different enough to where it's worth your time if you're a huge fan of the distillery like I am to get your hands on them. Or at least get a taste of it. I haven't been able to get my hands on every one of them, but now with this final review of this Lagavulin 37, at least I've got a taste of all of them. And I gotta say, it's every bit as what I thought it would be. They did not disappoint, none of them. Again, the Jazz 2013 is another great one. 2004, I have the 2014. I have the Facial, and that is really highly regarded by a lot of people. I didn't find it as good as the 2013 Jazz. That's the 2014 Facial, or this 2015. But that's just me. All the 18s were good too. I have a Lagavulin playlist. You guys want to take a look at any of those? I got done quite a few Lagavulins. All right. To add a bit of water, what'd it do? Oh, through the sherry, it's just become so much sweeter. Just bubblegum sherry. You don't want to have a tad more. A tad more. Make it dangerous. Old whiskey is easy to unravel. Something I've warned people about many times, both in whiskey reviews on this channel and in private. It's easy to unravel old whiskey. But I got confidence in Lagavulin. It's a dense, rich, thick malt. Still remember the day I had my first Lagavulin. 16. It's before an Ohio State-Wisconsin Big Ten title game, which Ohio State won. I remember as soon as I had it, I thought, oh, this is me now. And I was right. All these years later. Okay. So yeah, with water, the bubblegum sherry comes up more. It is sweeter. Oh man, a little bit more spice. Gets a little spicier. Tobacco, twinge, turned down. Oakiness, slightly dissipated, what you would expect. I didn't talk a ton about the oakiness to begin with. I was just mainly talking about the flavors, but it just was almost perfectly balanced. Just an incredible whiskey. Anytime you have a weird age like that, 37 years, it either just went too far or it just got perfect. I remember a couple of Lafroigs I bought, 27 and 28-year-olds. They were the triple cast ones, come in the white box, are kind of that orangey tint. And I remember in the 32. My buddy in Indianapolis, Corey, got the 32, but I had the 27 and the 28. And I said, man, either these are going to be excellent or terrible. I go, anytime they're at that weird age that they normally don't do, either it just got perfect or it just went wrong. And I got to tell you, the 27 and the 28, the ones I got, it just went wrong. But the 32, one my buddy Corey got, it was perfect. That was a really good Lafroig. And this is a really good Lagavulin. A lot of times you can't make 25 or 21s add up or look perfect, but sometimes you got to do something like this 37. Not often casks can take a whiskey this far and do a good job. I mean, these casks, this feels peak. I mean, everything's in balance and everything's in harmony here. So well done. With water, it's spicier, a little more mineral. A little mineral, twinge of iodine coming up. You're getting that minerality from that peat, that Isle of minerality, almost Lafroig-esque minerality. Not quite. Too rich, too sherry-coated. Like always, I prefer it neat, but a little sweeter on the nose. I did like what it did to the nose with water. What it did with the palate. I could use more of the sherry and tobacco notes as compared to a little bit more spice and minerality. But it's fun to try it both ways. Whiskey score time. I like to overrate a sample, but I gotta call a spade a spade. This is a 93, level setted with Ardbeg and another good Lagavulin ahead of time. This is one of the all-time greats. I think I gave the 25 and 94. That sounds about right. It's about 93. I'd probably prefer the 25 over this 2016. I tell you, you have next to the other whiskeys, they're incredible. If you don't like your Spirit Drowned, this is a good one too. This or the 1985 21 is probably ranking third and fourth for me. Great whiskeys. I'd love to have them all lined up one time here for you, full bottles or bottles halfway worked, and really get down to the business of what is the greatest Lagavulin ever, according to me. Anyway, it's a dream I have. I want to thank you guys for joining for another whiskey review. Dustin be back with me next time, and I want to wish you happy drinking.